Jai Hind everyone. Today we are going to talk about India on its way to become the civil aviation market, the largest aviation market by 2023. All right. So here is the PDF which I have prepared little bit from every sources which I got. Now, India aims to become the top aviation market by 2023. Why in news? India is poised to become the world leader aviation market, surpassing the United States and China by the end of decade. That is, by this year, by the end of this decade, that is by 2023, India is going to surpass USA and China. All right, and the civil aviation secretary in India made an announcement that countries plan for expanding air connectivity is increase accessibility for the population during CAPA Indian Aviation Summit. All right, and what is the status of India aviation sector? Now, India civil aviation is among the fastest growing aviation market globally and will be a major growth engine to make India a USD 5 trillion economy by 2024. All right. Now, India is currently the world's third largest civil aviation market. India's domestic passenger traffic is projected to rise to 16 crore in the 2023-24 fiscal to 35 crore by 2030. That means a huge jump, just twice. Now, recent government initiative to related the aviation sector, we can say that the India government is aiming for the six major metropolitan cities as an international hub as a air traffic. All right, and we will also talk about the National Civil Aviation Policy soon and the Udan scheme later on. Now, what are the challenges? High operating cost. One of the major challenges for India aviation security is the highest operating cost, and this is due to large number of factors such as high fuel prices, airport charges, and taxes. For airlines, the increase in jet fuel price presently a major challenge, as the cost typically account for 20% to 25% of total operational cost. All right, infrastructure constraint. The Indian aviation sector is also face infrastructure constraint, such as limited body capability, lack of modernized air traffic control system, and inadequate ground handling facility. That means we have to work on our infrastructure, and we have to somehow works on our high fuel prices, the jet fuels, airport charges, and taxes. All right, and also we have to work on an infrastructure, that is air traffic control system should be better and ground handling facility should be better. There was regulating framework. The Indian sector has faced challenges related to regulation framework. The sector is heavily regulated and aircraft have to comply with a number of rules and regulations throughout different windows, which is complex and time consuming. That means we have to make somewhat everything should be digitally based on artificial intelligence, so that this complexity and time consuming should be reduced. That means the bringing of artificial intelligence and digitalization of the airport, along with that having good infrastructure for air traffic controlling and integrated ground handling, along with having some building and good economy, so that high profile as well as the taxes can be minimized. And what is the conclusion of this? Uh, Indian ambition plans for growing in aviation sector present significantly opportunity for the country's economy and its people. All right, means India is ambitious for its country's economy and for its people, while challenging to over where there are challenges which I have talked about, which has to be overcome through time. And India's commitment to expanding its aviation infrastructure and developing its manufacturing capabilities position it will become a major player in the global aviation market by the end of decade, because India has already been working on its economy, 5 trillion economy by time. All right, it is already India is already third largest aviation market by now, and India is on a constant verge to better the infrastructure and air traffic controlling. And even India has become the largest exporter of refined crude oil to the Europe, and it has beaten Saudi Arabia as well. So by 2020, 2040, it can 2030, it can be possible that India becomes the largest global aviation market. And now let's talk about the Civil Aviation Summit, which happened in 2019 in Mumbai, and why it is important and to study. It was a 2 day summit theming flying for all, especially the next 6 billion. That means flying for all, especially the next 6 billion, was organized by Ministry of Civil Aviation association with FICCI. And during that summit, the union minister released a Vision 2040 document. All right, that means what they will be watching doing in 2040. And if we talk about the Indian aviation, the total passenger traffic to, from, and within India during April November 2018 grew around 15% year on year, as compared to around 6% globally. That means Indian is already the largest population country. All right. And our market in the our own market, that is own passenger traffic, has been growing to 15% per year, as compared to globally 6% was seen. All right. As well as India is now the seventh largest aviation market. Why I'm telling this, it was in 2019. At that time India was the seventh largest aviation market, but now see, just in 2 to 5 years, all right, 320 and 3 around 3 to 4 years, India has become the third largest aviation market from seventh largest. All right. Along with that, uh, we have a possibility a lot of cargo traffic in future, and Indian aviation has witnessed great switch off from railways. All right, people are not using railways that much, and they have for traveling they prefer aeroplanes, by the kind of population in India which is highly breaking the financial acceptance limits of flying. All right, because if the flying becomes cheaper, along with that, if the flying becomes cheaper, and there is lots of development in the people, so everybody will choose flying over the railways, and railways will be used for the logistic purpose only. And manufacturing in Europe and America is high due to high labor cost. All right. And whatever manufacturing we are doing in Europe or America, it is high because of high labor cost. And India will, why India is good? Because India has low labor cost. All right, we have skilled labors but at lower price. So India is again a great market for other countries to come, and India has a potential to be an east-west and west-east hub due to cheap labors. That means from east to west and west to east, we will be the cheapest labor after the China. And now China is also developing itself. And all right, so this is how India can be great fruitful for, and even the recently in the US and India talks of strategic US India strategic dialogues, they have already decided to go for manufacturing in India, to go under the Make in India policy. All right. And what is the challenges we are facing? Infrastructure related problems. All right. I've already told about the airports on demand, means there are more numbers of airports should be built with good air traffic control and efficient working for other likes air navigation management, control, air traffic control, airline slot waiting. So this all things, if they are managing, so it will be easier for people to travel. All right. Air navigation management and air traffic control, airline slot waiting, shortage of pilots. There are shortage of pilots, and if people can fulfill that number of pilots, which shortage of pilot was it was earlier in the 2019, but now uh, there has been a lot of rise of pilots in the aviation market and inefficient function of Udan service. All right. Now Udan is something related for the every person should fly. All right. Now Udan scheme was inefficient functioning back in 2019, or it has improved now. 134 routes which were added under the scheme have not been functional yet. That means 134 new routes were added, but it was not functional yet. And hinterland of the country is yet to be complete connection of aviation sector. Now, poor financial health of Indian Airlines, means airlines is not that under such good things. All right. The airlines have tried to make capital expenditure of acquiring new aircrafts, which was probably much larger than they could, and that was based on expectancy of steady future growth, and it is around 10% now as compared to 20% early last year. This affected as liquidity as well as the ability to service of demand. Now, high price fuels and depreciation of rupee. That means US has been becoming stronger and stronger day by day. So they are even they one of the secretary has even told that the US dollar is now a financial terrorist because it is not allowing any other currency to grow. That's why in the Asian part, India has been deciding to have some its own currency, so that other than US, more things can be growing. All right, high proofs filing are there, so we are already dealing with it, and high taxation over the aviation sector as compared to railways and buses. All right, there should be reduction in taxation as related to buses and railways, as well as people tend to switch back to railway on other modes of transportation. All right, global aviation sector currently not doing well in another reason. Now, air safety and security is another challenge, and absence of maintenance of repair organization (MRO). That means there is no maintenance and repair organization in India. There should be some MROs, that is maintenance and repair organization in India, so that uh, we do not have to go to foreign for maintenance and repairment. All right, and Indian Airlines entered the contract with foreign organization in maintenance of their fleet, which doesn't require, which raised the maintenance cost. All right, not much improvement in cargo traffic. That means there is no improvement in cargo traffic. More air routes should be made. All right, despite the fact that India declares unitary open sky year back. Solution: what is the solution for it? There should be in an infrastructural basis, there should be more airports in the cities, like London is an example, to ease the traffic. All right, then airport needs to build anticipated of demand, the way Ireland built the airport in Hong Kong. All right, there should be more airports, which is acceptance and demands, and use of latest technology is required. Air traffic control means new latest technology is required, which is present government is working on. It is back in 2019, but currently government has been working on it 2030. And air traffic control navigation system should be better, safety and secure in aircrafts. All right, regional connectivity scheme should be there. Capping of airport slots, that means whatever we are having problems in airport slotting, they should be better, so that people should enjoy more, and there should be less waiting time. We need to work to have employ more number of pilots in the aviation sector. Then the financial help means the aviation turbine fuel should be bought under GST. All petroleum products, including aviation turbine fuel, should be bought under GST, so that 18% of more money could be get from that cost, using fuel efficiency technology, looking at biofuel and solar power. And India should also develop itself so that it can work on biofuels as well as the solar powers, so that less dependency on the air petrol should be there. All right, less dependency over it could be done, and air fuel could be done, and rational approach to aviation taxation should be adopted. All right, now the maintenance and repairment MRO should be started in India. Carrying cargo in solution for poor performance airlines should be there. All right, and tie-ups with another departments to improve the cargo traffic. All right, India outbound is growing very well, and this is linked with India's foreign policy to ensure that its growth takes over. Now, if we talk about forwardness, government should also look at near policy of unmanned aerial vehicle. All right, they should also think about the unmanned aerial vehicle production in the area in our India, and involvement of as many as agency possible is required for the building infrastructure, and thus boosting aviation sector. That means to boost the aviation sector, India should follow that public-private infrastructure development. Along with that, the central government and the state government should make a concerned effort for the sector to grow at good pace. All right, that means both combined effect of central government as well as the state government should be required to improve this sector. Now, let's talk about the fourth Heli India Summit, which happened in 2022, 15 October. All right, it is much closer, back in 6 to 7 months ago. Why it was in news recently? At that time, 2022, Minister of Civil Aviation has launched fourth Heli Indian Summit for the Union Territory of Jammu Kashmir. Theme was helicopters for last mile connectivity. Now, what are the highlights of summit? Announcing the aviation and civil aviation sector, it is noted that the country had 74 airports from 1947 to 2014. All right, 74 airport only, and recently, but now it has 144, because recently 67 new airport was added in the last last 7 year itself, and it is purpose that built a civil enclave in Jammu and Kashmir. Present terminal expanded 3 times. Now, announcement to develop fraction ownership model, HEMS, that is Helicopter Emergency Medical Services pilot called the project. This project should be implemented. That is helicopter emergency medical services instead of going through land routes. In the especially in the hilly areas like Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh. All right, and fraction ownership model should be there, and it should be lower barrier of cost of acquisition of helicopter through the cost capital multiple owners. HEM said it's a project of Sanjeevani. A helicopter will be deployed to provide emergency medical services at AIMS Rishikesh. All right, it is more project Sanjeevani means like Hanuman, Lord Hanumanji bought Sanjeevani booty for the Lakshman by going to Himalaya, then coming back to Sri Lanka in no time. Similarly, HEMS, that is helicopter emergency medical services under the project of Sanjeevani should be implemented so that there should be lack timing. The golden hour could be maintained, and there should be quick reaction in the development of health sector. The helicopter will be based on hospital at 20 minutes notice and will be service covering in area of 150 radius. That means 20 minutes, 150 kilometer of radius it can be covered, and about 200-meter notice. All right, means 20 minutes and 150 seconds. We must remember it. For the helicopters, it is 20 minutes for 150 kilometer. All right. Now, the scenario of civil aviation of India. About the helicopters have a multifarious role, providing urban connectivity and other roles of helicopter services have been emerging medical science, disaster management, avoiding floods, rescue. The civil aviation industry has been fast and growing during the India. All right, international airlines and not scheduled flights. What is significant? India is presently the seventh largest civil aviation market, but currently it is third largest, and China and United States are the world's third airport market in the next 10 years, and India is expected to take over them as well through the International Air uh, Transport Association. All right, it is the prediction of International Air Transport Association. In financial year 2022, airport has placed more number of airports have been done, around 67 more new airports have been done in the last 7 years, and along with that 118 YOI increases compared to financial year. FDI we have already talked about. Opportunities are there. Score of growth, the scope of growth is there because we have more population. Connectivity of new airports could be done. More number of cities should have more number of airports, so that there should be lot of connectivity along with international as well. Now, what is related to initiative Heli Seva portal? That is Heli Seva portal for being obtained to land permission for helipads, and it's also creating a database for the helipads on the country. That means there should be more helipads on the more number of cities. All right, or even at some if there is no place available, they can be made through upside of the buildings as well. And Helidisha means guidance of helicopter and state administration distributed to 70, 80, 780 districts and containing helicopter size, weight, operation, and other types of it. Now, helicopter accelerator cell should be there. Helicopter cell is fully active, restores the issue of advisory group of industries. All right, means industry should also include helicopters. Then there should be more number of helipads as well as the airports in the states and districts. All right, and if we talk about Uday Desh ka Aam Nagrik, that is Udan. Uday Desh ka Aam Nagrik Udan was launched by Regional Connectivity Scheme under the Ministry of Civil Aviation in 2016. That means through Udan they are going to have regional connectivity scheme. Now, presently, government has also done 81 FM, 91 FM scheme, which will connect all types of area, including the areas of borders and the Naxal affected areas. That means left wing terrorism should they will also be covering that also. And regional aviation market has also been innovative. And Krishi Udan 2.0 scheme, it lays that the improvement value realization through being integration and optimization of agri harvesting. That means as well as the air transportation containing of agri values chain sustainable assistance under the different and dynamic condition. That means the combining the agriculture with the aviation is also a good point of interest, so that less time could be consumed and things can be bought within less time. Civil aviation has become the need of hour now for India, for the humankind across the world, and the India should be well placed to achieve its vision of becoming the third largest aviation market by 2022. Now, what are the what reforms under the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan? Along with that, route displayed guidance. RDT flights, smaller unpredictable air controls, along with that strict of utilization of Indian air certs, and this will lead to optimization utilization of airspace and reducing the fuel use. Now, airport development through PPP. That means public-private partnership. It will also increase the employment of the nation, and skill could be used, and people will get good amount. And airports at the Delhi, Mumbai, and Hyderabad, and six more airports will be auctioned under the private public-private partnership. Now, the global hub for the aircraft maintenance, repair, and overhaul. All right, the global hub for aircraft maintenance. There should be an MRO, that is maintenance and repair uh, office for the aircrafts in India itself, and it's now also the convention between the defense sector and civil MROs will be established to bring down the maintenance costs of airlines. That means the convergence between the defense sector and the civil MROs will be established. That means a proper MRO will be established, so which will provide the maintenance and repairs to the defense as well as the civils. All right. Now, systematic changes, infrastructure deficit, inadequate hangar space, and unavailability of land to expand the airport of the current sites, particularly in the major cities, and two of the major constraints at the face of the sector. Also, uh, the development of airport system of PPP model with a view of improving the aviation infrastructure without the government have pumped the additional funds. It is also a roadblock. Means if you have good PPTs, it will be a better thing. All right, airport infrastructure development process of the complexity detail of the various points of the process of government approval. There is a high cost of fuel infrastructure problem is there. High cost of fuel is there. All right, fuel cost of percentage of operating amount of 45% in India as compared to the global average of 30%. That means the fuel charge in India is around 45%, but if you go to global, it is around only 30%. That means it can be cost, and the prices of aviation fuel are approximately 60% higher than the price in ASEAN. That means India's aviation fuel is higher, 60% higher than the ASEAN and the Middle East country because of high central and state taxes. All right, because they have high central and state taxes, and we are not putting any taxes on our individuals. That's why the prices are higher in India, and this makes the profitability of civil aviation industry vulnerable and volatile in the global oil prices. Now, skill deficit, shortage and gaps in the availability of industry recognized skill from airline plots to crew to maintenance the ground handling personnel constant of means there should be ground handling personnel, there should be air traffic controller system, and more number of sea routes, more number of air routes should be made. Along with that, there should be more less waiting hours by improving the AI in the aviation. All right, enhance the aviation infrastructure. I've already talked about the Iran initiatives, and all right, government can make the global hub for aircraft maintenance. India can become the global hub for aircraft maintenance and MRO, that is maintenance as well as repair organizations and services, and by saving cost and creating liquidity for the airline companies. Also, the converging between civil MROs and defense MROs should be created economy of the scale of long-term benefits. So, if there is a convergence of MROs in both civil and military, that is defense technologies, there should be in longer run it will be helpful for both of us. Addressing the shortage of skill manpower, there should be more number of skill hubs, skill maintenance for skill development of each type of individual, so that it can be used even at the different types of problems can be done in the lower prices. Then augment finances. If we are putting GST in the turbine fuel, it will be maintenance will be getting extra 18%. Along with that, the Airport Authority of India can also increase uh, more number of airports and can take taxes from the states as well. All right, for the revenue purpose, making India a transshipment hub. India can reap multiple benefits by establishing itself a transcript hub in the region, and this will augment India's trading capability as a service provider, emerging as foreign exchange earned and enabler for for better connectivity in the region. Now, this may be done by the government of digital business enabler such as e-contracting, e-transportation, and e-companies and e-convergence. All right. Now, Udan 21st October is the Udan Day. That is under the Udan Singh. That's or Udan is or Har Aadmi. What was that Udan? Let me just go back. पूरे देश का आम नागरिक. Uday Desh ka Aam Nagrik is Udan's full form. All right. And now we were talking about the Udan. Yeah, Udan scheme. The key points launched that Uday Desh ka Aam Nagrik was launched by a regional connectivity scheme under the Ministry of Aviation. The objective was to develop a regional aviation market. All right, to avoid affordability, economic, viable, and profitable air travel. In this way, we can improve our aviation market. It should be affordable. It should be economically viable, and it should use the profitable air travel. Along with that, common man, even the small towns, to every common man should was able to attend this global aviation. Now, features the scheme advises provides connectivity to an unreserved airport for the countries throughout the revival of existing airstrips and airports. The scheme is operating for a period of 10 years. Now, I believe that there should, in every state there should be an international airport. All right, every state should have international airport, and you should implement heavy taxes from the states itself. In this way, more number of money could be get, and that the traveling time could be reduced. Under the several airports are those who do not have more than one flight a day. Who reserve airport are those where there are no operations. All right, means, and the taxation which you are getting from state should be based on the number of flights per day. All right, and the financial incentive for the center, state government, and airport operation and extended to service agent. And where there is less number of where there is less number of airports, we can develop more number of where we can develop more number of tourism spots there. All right, achievements so far till 387 routes, 60 airports have been operational, and 100 routes have been awarded to northeast alone. Means 100 routes have been given to northeast alone. Under the Krishi Udan scheme, 16 airports have been identified to exchange the export opportunities and northeast region to establish the dual benefit of enhancing of cargo movement as well as export. That means we are providing aerial benefits to the people for traveling. Along with that, the international people. Along with that, we are also providing cargo movements and export. That means if we have the agriculture tech, and what we are doing that we are combining the agriculture as well as the aviation security. For that, more number of things can be travel in limited number of time. All right, now Udan 1.2. Under this phase, airline companies were awarded 128 flight routes to 70 airports, including 36 newly made operation airports. Udan 2.0 in 2018 civil aviation on 73 unreserved and unserved airports. All right, for which helipads were connected under the phase 2 of Udan scheme. That means first, more number of private as well as different companies should be entered. Then more number of flight routes can be added. Along with that, uh, more number of airports can be implemented. More number of helipads can be added, and tourism routes can be made alongside with the Ministry of Tourism, and with the cooperation of Ministry of Tourism and inclusion of seaplane for connectivity water air. All right, and connectivity of seaplanes as well should be added so that it can also help in water air and bringing a number of routes to the northeast region as well. And if we add more number of northeast region, then it will be beneficial and helpful for northeast people as well for the other. Now, Udan 4.0 in 2022, 78 crews have approved of the fourth route of the ICS Udan connectivity and remotely recognition areas. And Karavati, Agarthi, and Mini Koi Island of Lakshadweep were connected by the new sea route of 4.4. Means these Lakshadweep and Lakshadweep and Andaman Nicobar should be added more number of aircrafts and to see the beauty of the country. And Goa, the Udan 4 focus on connecting small airports along with the special helicopter and seaplane routes. That means more number of inclusion of special helicopters, that is heli medical services, and seaplane routes can be added along with that. All right, and Sagar Mala seaplane services ambitious project under the Ministry of Port Shipping and Waterways with potential airline operations. That means connecting the sea and the oceans through aviation with for everyone, and even for especially for the military purposes. And Krishi Udan, it is launched by military Ministry of Civil Aviation in 2022 on the international and national routes. to assist farmers in transportation agriculture production, so that it improves the value of realization. That means Krishi Udan is also anything assisting farmers in transportation of agri products. All right. Through aviation, we can assist farmers in transportation of agri products. And international Udan, under this international Udan plan, connecting India's smaller cities directly to the some of the foreign destinations in the neighborhood. That means even the smaller cities of India can be added to this type of works. All right. Now, way forward, the airlines have lead the scheme strategy towards the gaining additional slot to congested Tier 1 airport monopoly status on the route and lower operational cost. Thus, stakeholders should work towards making the Udan scheme sustainable on its own and improving its efficiency. All right. That means airline have leveraged the scheme strategically towards the gaining additional slot at congested Tier 1 airport monopoly status and routes, lower operation costs. The stakeholders should have been more towards making the Udan scheme sustainable for its owner as well as improving its efficiency. Now, airline may be undertake market initiatives so that more and more people can be take advantage of the Udan scheme. More and more advantage can be taken to Udan scheme, and more infrastructure is required for the successful implementation of this scheme under the uh, country. Now, what else could be added? What I feel certainly that the more number of short service commission officers should be made in the air force, so that they can even help in the aviation sector. Along with that, the retired pilots and the retired officers from the air force can be included in such uh, FEs for the MROs, and having more international summit for the MROs, and connecting each state with the internationals. And where there is less number of flights available, there should be more tourism spots, so that people can travel at that area as well. Then there should be combination of agriculture along with the aviation. More number of economy should be developed, of course. And the price of the price of the aviation fuel should be reduced, because India is already paying 45% as compared to global average of 30%. All right. Along with that, ASEAN's Desh, Association of Southeast Asian Nations, and the Middle East are doing the heavy taxation or on the state, and still we are giving 60% of higher price of the fuel. So these things can be maintained and understood well. And thank you everyone. Jai Hind.